Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is Reality with DVD. How are you doing? Now, this is going to be my episode recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 16. Now, I'm not sure what the name of the episode is, but I'll get that in the description box below. Now, I want to go ahead and get into a couple of things before I started off with the recap. Let's get into some Portia news. Y'all, Portia done went around now to the People magazine and did herself a photo shoot. Y'all, did y'all know this here heifer done recreated to herself to be the Bonadine of the Waiting to Exhale? What the hell? Y'all, when I saw that fool doing the light the match scene where, Bernadette, it sounded like a horror movie. Then if y'all remember, and she started snatching his clothes down, it sounded like she was in The Exorcist. I guess she was kind of possessed. So, child, fast forward to Portia, acting like she was Bernadine. She acting like she like the damn total victim in this whole situation. When I tell you Simon, goodbye, yada, 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 and Portia, goodbye, yada, 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 are no victims, neither one of them. When I tell you this is the most neutral I have been in somebody's divorce in my life. You started this thing off shorty, okay? You got out of it what you put into it. Nothing. Okay, so then here we go with Portia acting. And when I say she acted like the victim, Simon was close to Pillar. We getting this information from People magazine. Of course, it's on my timeline, and I saw this idiot, recreating that scene, acting like she was the Bernadine. Now, let's refresh our memories, okay? Bernadine was the long-suffering wife who helped her husband start a company, right? That he liked to never give her credit for, right? Right? So he hires an accountant. The accountant is the Caucasian lady. And how does this parallel to Portia? That's why I said, Portia, you are no victim, honey. You are the white lady that got slapped. You went into that lady's house like the white lady went into Bernadine's business and the husband's business and stole that lady's husband. Now, I'm not one for talking about stealing people's husbands. I am not, because the husbands are definitely willing participants. But both of them had an agenda, okay, in this whole situation. And again, for me, whether Fallon was sleeping with the pool boy or not, I see it like this. Portia and Simon were together long before, to me, in my opinion, the way things shook out, long before the pool boy and Fallon were. As a matter of fact, I just think, in my opinion, the way it looked to me is that Fallon had turned to the pool boy for comfort. And then they started bumping and grinding, just like Portia and Simon were bumping and grinding. This lady came over there when she gave Simon that fist bump. They were already, if they weren't sucking and fucking at the time, they definitely had kissed and felt on each other. And when Portia said, sometimes I wonder if I'm a lesbian, girl, do you have to wonder? Do you? Girl, we have forgotten about South Carolina and Bolo and Change. And allegedly kissing Drew. What do you think us real, true, loyal, Real Housewives of Atlanta fans be? Everybody. Don't sit down somewhere. Then I saw Angela down to the Carlos King doing an interview, and Angela was like, oh my God, Becky. You remember at the end of the episode, this episode, Wretched, episode 16, Shout out to my country grandma living around on that dirt road. Wrench here. Do y'all know what wrench here is? Right here. Oh, I love to interpret Southern dialect in our colloquialisms. I love it. Wretch him. Right round there, wretch round. And y'all pulled up from the depths of hell. FERELL, LIOIA, FAEDRA, FRAUDRA, involved in whatever, in my opinion, Apollo was involved in, just knew how to get herself out of stuff. Teflon Park. I bet the American medicine ladies are so glad they got rid of that scheming ass heifer. Cause she done went round there and plucked up an ex-offender, had him come on and say that he saw Charles cheating on answer. Baby, who in their right mind did not know that the person who came on this show and accused Kandi of premeditated ape, that she went, excuse that damn house phone. The last time I did my recap, it did the same thing, interrupted. Same time every day. Every day the same time. The fraud alert callers. They must know I'm talking about FERELL's fraud ass. Low to the ground ass. Scheming snake ass. Is there any other animal that you could think of that's Wolverine ass? Honey badger ass. Okay? I'm talking about the lowest of the low. Sloth ass. The lowest of the low. Of the lowest of the low animals. Over there, and I'm talking directly to you. I know you never seen my videos, but I hope somebody tell you what the fuck I said. You have kissed the FERELL's ass, done dotted her around and pimped her after the show, after show, after show, after show, till you got her round back on that damn Real Housewives of Atlanta. The lady who committed alleged that Kandi was about to do some premeditated situations, like I said before. That same lady you thought she was gonna, you thought? You just got a glutton for punishment at this point. Did you think she was gonna do something different? Really? Went round there and paid somebody to come on the show. Now, I knew in the scene later on in this recap, when she was so elated with joy to tell Portia and BRIT, who seemed like Portia knew what was going on. Portia, you hadn't learned your lesson fooling with that thick-lipped heifer. You hadn't learned your lesson. And I was enduring with FERELL through this episode until we got to that part. And I said to myself, when I thought about the Nene situation, the half sisters, and all of this that she had done, I knew right then that yes, the gap to Teflon Don, mortician, down low, snake in the grass, was up to her old tricks. And now one damn be surprised when Angela confirmed that she indeed was the person who had paid that young man to come, that ex-offender, by the way, to come around there. And I can't say allegedly, because for the simple fact, when you in the sex register business and you are registered, then your name is forever on the registry and with your picture. That's what you went around there and dug up and got. You would think after you did Kandi, when you pulled up the records and almost stopped her restaurant from being open, when you dug up Nene's half-sisters, and then when you done the coup de grace of coup de grace-ness, you would think that you would be smarter. Miss high and mighty lawyer, mortician, and keep a job. Hell, you keep doing snake ass, fraudulent ass shit. You ain't gonna keep one. how you keep a job. But then again, you do have the lowest of the low types of jobs, because a mortician, in my opinion, ain't no different. With all the scheming and snaking they do round about funeral time, ain't no different than a lawyer. Same people. I told my sister, I always tell my sister, ain't nobody sneakier than a funeral home director or a lawyer and a doctor. The schemingest, scammingest people that ever walked the earth, because the doctor is going to lie and scheme and scam up on some Medicaid fraud, and then act like they're above it all when it comes down to Trump and vote for Trump, knowing they take Medicare. Talking about the doctors. You remember all those doctors those oncologists that were saying people had cancer that didn't really have cancer so they can collect Medicaid? No, they weren't collecting private insurance. It was Medicaid. While y'all look down on the Medicaid recipients or whatnot. Lawyers. Try anything if you pay them $1. Shout out to PHAEDRA, collect their money in the parking lot. I side-eyed her then. Oh, this baby about to come up out me. Aren't you like 5 months? Well, everything is developed. You know, but this baby got to come up out of me. Now, Sheree, wait a minute. Either she lying or this heifer don't know when she got pregnant. We knew then this woman lied more than an oriental rug. And that's what y'all wanted to bring back to the show. The things we do for entertainment. Now let's get on to the episode. Child, that was just a little warm up. But I got some more for PHAEDRA's fake ass. Not all bad though. You know, because, you know, I enjoy the way she interact with her sons, but all that gets thrown out the window, the way she interacts with these women, because Angela ain't done a damn thing to her that we could see. As a matter of fact, she all but admitted that she didn't know Angela. The only thing she could do was throw salt on her marriage. Trash ass heifer. Anyway, I'm supposed to be opening the scene. Let's open the scene. Okay, so we open the episode up and we have Shamia, and she has she came back from Grenada with the strep throat, so she wanted to make sure that her immune compromised child didn't catch strep throat, because that could be, you know, have very serious consequences and have that child hospitalized. So we have weird ass Gerald living in the phone like Jamal again. The fuck? Y'all in the same place. I can see Jamal living in the phone a little bit because he was from Atlanta. Whew. And then we found out that the baby is good. Even in all that cold weather, even in all those cold temperatures, and you know, everybody's questioning the cold temperatures. And I'm still gonna stick with that the nurse was trying to keep the room sterile. So let's name them off, okay? We have Shamia herself. We have Pappy Gerald. We have Mama Shamia. We have 2 sisters, one of which is sick, and a nurse and a nanny. Did I name the nurse and the nanny? I mean, a total of maybe 7 to 10 people in general taking care of Shamia's children. And for some reason, we can't click into our heads that we don't need another child. That's what I'm confused about. What the hell is going on in her mind? No, she too busy trying to give this man a son figure. Son figure a lie. I be damn. If I would put my life on the line just to give some man a boy, you better go on with that shit. And Shamia, you better wake up. If you feel like you can't handle 2 kids, what if this child that comes out, because you about to try to get another surrogate or whatever, what if this child, you don't need to carry, by the way. What if this child comes out to be immune compromised? Because from my understanding, that you tried with Asia and the eggs didn't work out. She rejected the eggs. Maybe her eggs don't. Maybe her body don't want old Gerald's old nasty sperm in. You ever thought about that? I get so tired of women taking the brunt of infertility when them old ass women probably ain't working. Ain't he about Sam's age? No, it got to be the woman's age. Shit. You better think again. You better use that noggin. I know you don't know how to use it really good because the way you have shown up on this show as of late. Bye. So then we have her in confessional, and then the producer asked her about her children so greasy. And she was like, my mom greased me up. I don't need no foundation to this day because I was so greasy. But yeah, a lot of people like, well, that's just lotion. No, it's a difference between slathering Vaseline on your children's face versus lotion. Now, I try to back up off of lotion. I mean, Vaseline as much as possible because of the petroleum. So my children aren't always shiny greasy. I try to put a little tip on my finger to make sure I just get the ashy spots, and then I might rub my hands together, and then, all over the face, I add a little water just so they won't be looking like they fell out of oil slick. And, I know black folks be like, oh, black folks, we got a little greasy. No, the hell we don't now. You ain't got to have them children looking like they a greasy piece of chicken. You don't have to do that now. You don't have to do all that. All that ain't necessary. My mama didn't have me looking like no greasy piece of chicken either. That used to be me. My crazy self used to go in the kitchen because I wanted to look like the other greasy children. I used to go in the kitchen, slap me some lard on my legs until one day I had on some white jelly shoes. If you know, you know. The can with the weaved in that you stick your feet in, not the sandal type. I'm talking about this can look like flats. Baby, I slathered some Crisco oil on my feet. I was on a playground. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm so serious. My feet began to sizzle. Baby, that was the last time I ever did that again. But anyway, let's get on back to the episode about the greasy children. But so in the next scene, we have PHAEDRA, and this is the part of PHAEDRA that I'm just loving. She pouring into her children. She has decided to do an event that's going to display her faux furs, her real furs, and I'm checking, beware of Peter on this and what's not. And we find out that the little boy, Mr. President, he has decided that he wants to start him a clothing line because he couldn't find him some bell-bottom jeans for boys. And that's rare because while men are picking at each other about wearing baggy clothes these days, I wish they go back to back because I'm so sick of looking at teenage boys walking around. Because back in the day when guys would sag, which I still hate, but in the 90s, guys would say they used to have oversized clothes. Now they have jeans as tight as they can to their bottom and still have their drawers hanging out. So she said, well, since you can't find them, sew them yourself, which was a good idea. And that part right there made me see PHAEDRA different until, what I discussed earlier in the beginning of the video. A leopard don't change its spots. Snake don't change its spots either. And neither does a low-class, low-hanging fruit ass dragon. Should I call her the dragon lady? Terrible. Then we have, so she sends out invitations, which are very nice. Then we have Kelly. Y'all, okay. Kelly done went around there to the courts and whatnots, and old boy wasn't paying child support, so he goes off to jail. And we comes out, and in this episode, Kelly is still not divorced. She's laying around. She's sad. Lamont comes to her and comforts her. And then everybody finds out that BRIT has not been supported. BRIT selfish. Y'all just not realizing that. Is she gonna be supportive of you going through what you going through? So we kind of give cracks in what's going on in this relationship. So here we go with no ham Pam. Brit, she invites Portia and Cynthia over. And again, no ham Pam. Well, the reason why I call her no ham Pam, child, if you don't lay a piece of damn ham on your charcuterie. Oh, I know. Oh, that's right. You don't eat pork. Okay, turkey ham then. Oh, that's right. You don't eat meat. Well, do better with your vegetables, girl. That was sad. Tired, pitiful, delayed, and through. I have seen better down to the Walmart at a doggone potluck. That's what, girl, that's why you don't need to be on nobody's show. But I give you points for the champagne. And at least you did invite the people over. Well, you are renovating your house, but baby, is that what you talking about that they embarrassed you about on this show when they showed that room with all that junk in it? Child. Well, I mean, you have to be, like I said, you have to be aware of how they do. Child, Truly Original does it, because I don't know if Truly Original truly cares about their talents. So in a simultaneous scene, we have Brit, who's on, not Brit, but Aunt Kelly, because Brit and the other girls are over there. But we have Kelly, who invited the other girls to her event. She invited PHAEDRA, Angela, and Drew. And we're going to have a cook-off. And Charles is cooking against her, and they're doing Waffles, bananas Foster. I think that's how she said it was. And the thing about it is that, that's a little bit too much for me. Too much sweets for me. I'm a simple breakfast girl. I like savory and sweet, but not too much. I got to have my either bacon or sausage. I'm very simple. I do the not chicken and waffle, but I'm not going to do bananas Foster with the berries, the bananas, the sugar, powdered sugar, and syrup. That's too much for me. But of course, this is where we find out PHAEDRA is doing all her scheming and her scratching and surviving good time, trying to push up on Charles. You saw her hug him. I'm telling you now, I'm really trying to figure out, is that the problem? Because you think that you should have been the chosen one. You think you better than Angela, you would have been a better choice. He would have done you the same way, so you decided you wanted to bring out how he's cheating. So they did a better job of getting along on the trip. But now we find out again, there are more cracks. And then we get more clues as to why there are cracks. According to Brit, she finds out that Kelly is jealous. That's her. Everybody's jealous of Brit, honey. She the only pretty woman on the show. So she can't get along with people because everybody's jealous of how pretty she is. Like, Kenya wasn't pretty. Cynthia's not pretty. A whole supermodel. Not a cam girl. Laying on your back type. Parent model. Supermodel. But she the only pretty person on the whole show. Okay? That's Brit, the pretty one. So the pretty one is talking about how beautifully the clothes lay on her. And that may be true. But at the same time, you don't go in and do a PHAEDRA, sneak, snake, and get behind somebody's back and steal their glam team. Whether that glam team was talking to you and telling you how much better the clothes looked on you or not. Now it's time for you to get more people on your side. So you decide to tell Portia that you know some things about Shamir. Oh, and by the way, in my opinion, this is all coming from the glam squad. One person in particular, that damn stylist with the blonde hair. the one to stir up all the shit. And by the way, in that cow hair shit they wore, I don't, when they put it side by side, I didn't see nobody looking no better than the other. As far as that went, if you really want to know the truth about it. Yeah, that's why they want models to be tall, because clothes lay on you differently. But I'm not talking about the layering of the clothes. I'm talking about if you're a good stylist, you can make the clothes right for a short person and elongate the body. Hey. Shout out to McRae's. Because I worked at petites. Okay. And I do know that petite women like to look tall. So they would come in. Some of them, we would tell them, you get a long bell bottom pant and make it look a little bit longer, but just enough so it cups your heel. Okay? And then you, instead of, they sometimes be embarrassed, but this was the thing to elongate the body. You get the pant and you make it just a little bit above the navel. Okay? See? I'm trying to tell y'all some things. You don't think Diva D know stuff? Child. That's what the stylist should have known. So all I'm saying is you're a failure as a stylist if you can't figure out how to make the clothes work for your customer, whatever height they are. If you are good at your job, you can make any body type work. Again, I'm not saying that it's not easier to style Brit because of the natural shape of her body. I'm just saying there are plenty of petite actresses out there who are actually quite short and quite short in stature. And they figure out how to elongate the body. I want to say Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox, I think they're like round 5'2", if my memory is serving me correct. And they don't look all compacted in their clothes like Kelly sometimes does. So, we're still on the glam team. It is what it is. I agree with Kelly. I don't think that this was supposed to be an extended permanent thing. And Brit is vapid and shallow. So, of course, she don't understand why why Kelly feels the way she did. Did I say Brit at the beginning? I meant to say Kelly. Yes, I did. And let's move on along from this. And as grown as people, let me just say, I think I have an issue with this, even though we know as the audience that Brit and Kelly were never best friends, right? They had just met. But I'm so very irritated with the idea that we're thinking on the lines of when Brit and Kelly finally fall out, how they're talking about each other in different ways and different scenes, and it's all coming together. But that word best is bothering me to no end. It bothers me with Shamia and Portia, and it bothers me definitely like hell with Brit. And I can't even say that two best friends fell out, or I can't even say that I just cause that word best in front of a friend is real to me. I lost mine. Okay? And this whole thing of people just even considering the idea that they were best friends breaking up. No, they're acquaintances that are breaking up or not talking to each other on any level. But forget that. I cannot. Listen, no. Now, with Shamia and Portia, I can see more so because they put in the time. There is time there. But that whole Brit and Kelly, no. Child back. So we know what's gonna happen here. Marcus approaches Angela in the weirdest, sickest way possible. And I'm just so proud of Kelly for getting his weak ass, bitch ass on out of there. And you know, historically on these shows, as soon as he walked up with that waffle in his hand, eating and whispering at Angela, oh girl, how you doing, girl? I got something to say, can we talk, girl? Oh girl, yeah, she know you, girl. I immediately harkened back, and I know I'm not the only content creator that did it, but I immediately harkened back to Lisa Nicole and Darren, even though, side note, I kind of believed, oh boy, when it came to that, let's just leave it on there. But this right here, whoo, and then when everything went down the way, PHAEDRA ran out to her car and told Brit, Cynthia, and Portia what happened, as if I'm not sure if Cynthia and Brit knew, but I definitely know Portia knew, and that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Girl, can you learn your lesson from fooling with Frank? So we're at the event. We at Faith's event. Fine. Okay. So Brit comes in. Hi, Kelly. Hi. Hi, Kelly. Now, just for the hell of it, if I was Kelly, I would fuck that witch. But let me go over the look, okay? Because everybody is going crazy over the look. I hated that damn dress. When she walked in the door, I was like, what the hell is this? Is this some kind of, what is this? A sheet? That, like, it was sheer bra. Everybody's, like, going crazy over the dress. I hated it. It was not enough fabric for me. It was not enough fabric at the boob. But then again, hey, a lot of people think that she wore it because wore it well because of her body type and her body shape. I needed a little bit more fabric. And I'm definitely not the girl who worries about the type of clothing that someone wears. I'm not the type that says that when women wear things like that, they ask them to be 8. I'm definitely not that. I just didn't like the dress because it wasn't enough to it for me. It ain't about me being old-fashioned and fit. It was missing something for me. And then on top of that, this is the woman who's suing NBC because they are harassing her sexually. Look at how you dressing. Look at how you take your clothes off at the drop of a hat. I mean, girl, if you don't go around and release and pull back or whatever you do with rescind. That's the word I'm looking for. Rescind that damn lawsuit. Well, it looks like it's not going to go through anyway because she just filed. From my understanding. So anyway. So with that being said, the face card. Even with them nasty teeth at the bottom. I don't know what she got going on with her teeth at the bottom. But it just annoys me to no end. I don't know if she didn't complete her veneers or something is missing, the gums were too high at the bottom, or in all of that. The bob. Lord have mercy. That bob was fire. That's probably the best damn bob I've ever seen on anybody on TV. And that's on the real. That damn bob was looking good on that lady. I can't even lie, but the skin was skinning. Everything else was everything except for that dress. I couldn't get with it. But face card, thumbs up, and then she started talking, and I saw them raise the thumbs at the bottom. But everything else about the look, yes. So she told Kelly, "Come on, something, confirm." And Kelly's like, "Girl, bye. I ain't passive aggressive. I'm aggressive." Yes, ma'am. Everybody thinks that Brit won in this. There was no real winner because both of them embarrassed each other, and it was kind of whack because who does that in public at that? Who just airs out the secret? Child, no ma'am. That was not the thing on either part. On either part. That was seriously whack. She goes and tells her, Kelly goes and tells her, she's really talking, well, I finally figured out, and then everybody else finally figured out, other content creators finally figured out, that she wasn't talking about Mark. The whole time when she's called the pill popping roommate, girl, I'm sitting up here thinking she was talking about, is it Mark or Mike? Whatever, Kelly's husband, Brit's husband, I thought that's what she was talking about, the pill popping roommate, because I thought she was talking directly to Brit. So it looked chopped up right in that scene where there was an understanding that there could have been some confusion. And then, excuse me, and then Brit's like, we are talking about about did you have while you were married? She said, bitch, you want to be me. You can't even have kids. You had a kid. See right there? Everybody like, yeah, the goddamn that was lower than low. Child. That wasn't lower than low, than the lowest of low. They both went low. Nobody went lower than the other person. That's saying, bitch, you can't have a kid to a barren woman. That's horrible. Awful. Oh, let me go back for 1 second. I forgot to say that the reason Portia is not at this event is because London passed away. We're going to get right into that. I want to tell y'all, baby, the whole time I was thinking about London and passing away, I was thinking about Kiki because, you know, Kiki was my girl from London Marathon Smith. And yeah, they did a better job in that little 2 seconds than they did with Kiki, and she was a whole cast member. Child, I can't make this stuff up. It might have been because Portia is a star, but still, they did a much better job with their memorial than they did with Kiki. And I was just, you know, even with Kiki being on the show as a star, I was quite disappointed, excuse me, on how they did her memorial on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I just had to throw that in. Now back to the disagreement and how I'm analyzing the disagreement. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it was a draw for me. I mean, none of them like really wowed me with what they said, because low blow for low blow don't equal good shade and good reads to me. That's just not how I roll. I like for a read to be like organic but low enough where you can laugh at it still. Talking about somebody's uterus empty and somebody's uterus that's filled up with children that was surgically removed. That's a no for me, especially since I probably wouldn't want that little wide-shouldered man baby either. Shit, where he mistreating her and taking her to court and not paying child support. Why bring 5 and make it instead of 4? But I think Brit, by looking at her tweets later on, there I go misconstruing it again. Looking at her tweets later on, it's like she was saying that that Kelly was having an affair. Anyway, so that's probably during the time they were separated. And again, why bring 5 when you can just have 4 into the work? That's what happened to Melody Cherie. Melody Cherie got pregnant in a questionable manner, allegedly, when her and Markel was on the rock. So she surgically removed. That, like she said, my body, my choice. But I had my tubes tied when the twins were born. Brit. Girl, did you know that? Did you know she had her tubes tied when the twins were born? Because normally, and this is talking from mothers, because again, you are not a mother, so I can't speak on that. If you do anything, you would know that when a woman has a certain amount of children, or like me, a certain age, they present that to you. Not during the Trump administration, when people cared about the mothers, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just talking about how it normally works. Being that I was of advanced maternal age, they offered me ways to prevent pregnancy, and I chose the permanent way. No, I didn't just have my tubes tied. I had them burnt, tied, and clipped. Baby, ain't no babies getting up in the okay. Anyway, so the point is, if she had her tubes tied, that would mean, when did she have the baby surgically removed? Because the twins belong to the big shouldered husband, right? And normally, like I said, if you know anything about motherhood, you would know that when a woman decides to have her tubes tied after she has her children, they go in and do it after you give birth. So that's why what Kelly says makes more sense. Now, ain't no telling. From my understanding, it really seems like that stylist told old girl BRIT all this shit. I'll tell you if she know, because I don't think Kelly told her that. I don't. So, yeah, I do understand how Kelly is hurt, because she did do more in the relationship, the television relationship, than BRIT, because, yeah, she did do a lot for her after the situation that happened with Kenya, and all to find out that wasn't even her, allegedly. Child, I can't make this stuff up. So the fashion show starts, and yay, finally, poor Drew. Now remember, Drew has been locked out on love. I had said that earlier. And so she gets us some chicken wings. Child, I ain't mad at you. But it did look like the cop that was eating the chicken wings looked like he was eating them and then putting the bones back in the plate. Which is what I do as well when I don't have a garbage can nearby. And I'm eating out in the open like that. So I probably want an accident in his chicken wing, because his saliva transferred to the other wing. Like he had already been out. Yeah. I told him a little demographic. So they're walking down the runway, and we see I didn't even care about the other people. Jesse was there from Love American Huntsville. Little T was there. But baby, when we get to the little pants from the boy, and then Aiden is up there hyping up his brother. Wow. And here comes PHAEDRA. Rackalicious. In front of her too. What? Not prayer cloud, PHAEDRA. Y'all, when I said I was pointed, when I saw this woman with her kush crack showing, not kush crack, it was a blue crack, but I had to go back to Miss Kenya from the home for that. It was so inappropriate to me. And she often gets naked in front of her children like that. I don't think that's the first time I've seen her in something so... Oh, am I thinking about Tony Braxton? Anyway, she got bonus. That's on that for me. So, it's time to tell... Once the fashion show happens, it's time to tell the girls why Portia is not there. And she was... tells them the horrible news that Wendy had passed suddenly. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, if you did not watch Portia's Family Matter and you didn't get to know Wendy, I am so sorry for you. I'm not talking about her on these little stints when she was on this show. Alright, so I'm talking about when she was wrapping that heifer up on her own show, giving her the real, the only person who was actually honest with her on that show. Baby, that's why we all fell in love with Miss London. And you could tell more cracks with Shamir and Portia, because if you supposed to be best friends, Shamir would have been like, hey, I already know, it's so sad. Shamir sitting there crying like everybody else, like, oh my God, it's her first time hearing it. And the episode ends on that. I want to say again, my heartfelt condolences to Lundy. I love her, Lundy. You hear me? I like anybody that get fortune together in her infantile behavior. Bad back. She's so spoiled and inconsiderate of other people. But that's how selfish you want to know. And with that, I'm going to close. Guys, come on in. I thought this was going to be short, but I gave tea at the beginning. Next, I'm going to go ahead. Now that the looks are out, I'm going, after this video, I'm going to go ahead and do the looks and what I think of them. Let's just say I'm not impressed. Only like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell button. You will be notified when I upload that video. Come on in. Share the video. Why? Because sharing is caring. If you don't like the video and you just saw if you just listened to the teach, if you share the video, you're still pushing it out in the algorithm. When you like, the same thing happens. Somebody else may like it better than you did. And as I do, when I close, I'm going to tuck them up.